Our hero claims a warrior's heart.
Hey there guys, and welcome back to Rickard's journey through Skyrim, where you find us just on the edges of the Pine Forest. We're on our way to Falkreath. We need to find the Moth Priest's knife in order to rend the sap from the tree that's there. We need to find a way to access the second vision that Moth Priests use to read Elder Scrolls. Now, I camped here because it was getting rather dark. We got to the other side of the Gerals, and just on the morning light I discovered that we camped rather close to other campers, other happy campers like myself. I would believe that they are not all friendly. I would like to ascertain their moral compass, because they're awfully close to the road. How they decided not to bother me is probably a mark of some great... There we go. Bandits, Serana, what do you want to do? Well, I think bandits is a rather strong word. They're highwaymen. And I'm not using Summon Arvak. How many are we dealing with here? 2? Whoa! Gay! Oh, there's 3. Get out of the way, Brent. Wow, and Heliomancer's ballista just bounced off them as well. I wasn't expecting to destroy him. Much like that, I forget how powerful I've actually become in restoration magic. Wow, I suppose this camp wasn't originally theirs. They didn't have a mage, yet mage clothes are here. There's a large sack there. What's in there? Salmon. And we have Night Falls on Sentinel. This is a book I think I've found before. Is that a trapdoor or just a cupboard? I think someone's just using wood. There's a bedside table. They had a headman's axe. Wow. So this guy used to be an executioner. Well, I'd like to think I've done the world a favour there. But I have to wonder why I was exactly wielding... There we go, that's better. I was swinging the sword rather slowly, like I was hungry. Now I'm going to leave the campsite here, and we're going to walk. Because it's not the furthest distance away. I mean, Falkreath is just there, and the Ancestor Glade is just there. I have passed through in this area before, and I know there are ruins that I can use to cross these mountains here. However, ruins and other crypts alike tend to be filled with machinations of the worst kind. And riding on horseback is still an option, but it's a glitchy option that I'd rather try to avoid whenever I can. Plus the thing is that I'd like to go for a walk because I do need to pick up the odd... Oh boy. Oh. Was this the work of the bandits? Worshippers of Talos. So it was not the work of the bandits. Holy crap, I can barely read that. Agent Sanyon. In response to your report dated the 22nd of Morning Star 401, Your request for an expeditionary force is hereby denied. Sanyan, this is the 7th report you have filed this month, and not one of your leads, not one, has turned up so much as a shred of evidence that a Talos shrine exists in the Lake Ilinalta region. No prisoners, no documents, nothing. Our forces are stretched thin enough as it is, and I have better missions, better agents to assign them to. If you feel so sure of your informant, investigate yourself. Come back with proof, or not at all. By my hand and seal, Elenwen. A woman we've dealt with before, and I'm gonna laugh internally because she sent a Falmor soldier to his death. Even though, yes, he did seem to kill all of these Thalmor worshippers. Did I pick up a sword or a dagger? Because I want neither. It's a sword. And sent him to his death. So that's one less Falmor I need to kill. And one less Falmor that's going to come and try and kill me. So, happy days. Now let's be cautious. There is a dead deer here.
Where'd you come from?
There's a cave bear. Bear meat. Yeah, sure, we'll take all. Should be rather fortunate that deer was not... that actual bear was not at full strength. Bears can be quite troublesome. I do need to remember the road of how to get up to the ruins, though. I do tend to forget that rather easily. There's another bear in front of us. This one will be at full strength.
Where'd you come from?
And we have foul zombies. Of course we do. They're supposed to attack during the night. More flesh. Or are they getting stronger? It is rather fortunate. I do need more flesh to make more novice conjurer. Let me guess. This was his doing. Whenever I find a conjurer in the area, I will just naturally assign blame to them. Now, on the more functional reason why I'm walking, is that I do need to ascertain which areas of Skyrim are becoming very difficult to traverse. Not because of, you know, things I'll find in my path. Because the further I go into the story, the more and more I do in the world of Skyrim at the moment, the more and more my game is fighting me every step of the way. Areas that were once smooth are no longer smoother, and I do believe that this is testament to PlayStation and not the game itself. Although, I do remember this happening a lot when I was playing on PC. Basically, the more hours I would put in, sooner or later the game would...
Vacation is where the head is. That is what Dervenin told us about our master. He's cold. The master has gone, but Dervenin will find him. Dervenin should not have gone.
What?
Vacation is where the head is. That is what Dervenin told us about our master. He's cozy in his solitude.
I hate riddles. I really do. But yeah, it just seems to be that the longer I play, the more and more the game seems to give up. I'm going to try and do something to figure this out, but I feel it's risky. But I want to try and get onto the... Oh, I picked up a flower and now I'm carrying too much, of course. Of course, it's always the way. Serana.
Yes? Anything good?
In a way. I'm actually going to give her all the stuff that I'm not using, like these. Little things tend to weigh a lot in the end. I'm keeping the ruby. You can have that one. Anything else I can give you? Probably the pelt. Yeah, that weighs 3. God damn. I hate that I carry so much, but I genuinely don't believe I do carry that much. I mean, 0.1, so every 10 arrows weighs something, so this weighs 14. Do you want to carry some arrows? I do feel that I don't tend to use that many actually, so I should try and carry less. Okay, is this the way in? For the way that I'm hoping to get to Valkyries this time. Here it is. So that's how we get in. There was some steps above. If there's anything in particular here. Oh, that's nice. Where does this path lead to? So I know Shriekwind Bastion goes through the mountain. But does this path simply just go over it? Ah, some treasure here. Novice Lock shouldn't take us too long. Silver ingot and a petty soul gem. And I can hear a dragon, but I can't see a dragon. Let's go for clear skies. It's got to be out there somewhere. I like it when you can literally see the shout travel. The thing is that if the dragon isn't in front of me, there it is. I would wager it's here, bothering somewhere near Half Moon Hill, Half Moon Mill. Luckily for the moment, that's not our problem. Okay, let's get into Shriekwind Bastion and move swiftly through. I will go sword and shield. I am on the tired side. I'd rather reserve my magicka for healing that I have to do. This area is very pretty when it's clear. Onwards and upwards. With someone guarding the path.
Thought I heard something.
Ow. We have vampires blocking the path. Okay, no one's been startled. And I contracted Vampiric Sanguinaris. Potions and cure disease. I think I'm still rather healthy in that region. Okay, looks like we're not having safe passage through the mountain. Steel Mace of Torpor. I think I have that one already. That's an elven helmet. Maybe they jumped some Thalmor. Night Stalker as well. Night Stalkers are quite strong indeed. Okay, I can see a lever there. Okay, well at least they focused on bandits. That's not the worst thing in the world. Ridding the world of more problems. Oh god. Oh, that just triggers a trap. We couldn't tell. I don't have the foggiest because I don't know where those things are being triggered. Up there, I think. That's a skeever. That's right, I absorbed the Serana, how did you get there? Or did... Oh, it lifted you up, did it? Then I'll assume that there was nothing... Okay, maybe there were things in your way. It's very dark in here. Precisely how vampires would like it. So it lifted you up there. Okay, I do not believe we are alone. Yep. Okay, so feeling a little bit peckish. That is the end of the world. I've got plenty of salmon to keep hunger at bay. I'm going to keep the torch out and we're going to forego sneak because I'm not very good at it.
Who's there?
We've got nothing but skeletons in our path. And I think whatever infests this ruin already knows that we are here. This tends to be our rotten luck. I'm going to keep dragon skin on side, just in case. I can hear traps trigger, but I know not where they're actually coming from. Why do vampires have this... Ooh, fur-lined boots. Why do vampires have this fit? I saw this in Morthal, in Movarth's lair. Pleated boots? They're nice as well. Like, they just seem to have this way of just taking shoes, and I know perhaps the durability of boots can be questioned in the world of Skyrim, really so many.
Who's there?
Bunch of skeletons. Okay. There's a little bit of a puzzle. So while she does that, opens that one. Okay. Okay, that wasn't the one. There we go. So this is apprentice locked. Nearly so far. All too far. There we go. Take that. We can leave the orichalcum. Skeletons are the least of our worries. I can see one more. In the dark with no crosshair, I'll be shocked if this hits. I mean, if I sneak, I have the crosshair, but... or not. There we go. One thing I've always liked about Skyrim is the kill cam. It's not... all, these are where the traps were coming from, okay. We need to get up there. We were down there. For something that has a big hole right at the top of it. Dark in here. Hi there. Nope. Okay, onwards. I've seen very few vampires, but a lot of skeletons in here. Yeah, more torch devices.
Never should have.
Oh, hi there.
Do your work.
There you go. Set you on fire and chop off your head. Is that a full set of iron armor as well? No braces. It's a nice dwarven greatsword just sitting there. It's hallowed. I think that's something to do with repelling the undead. I thought, I'll prime Stendar's aura. Open the door. Pure darkness. Nope. Bringing the torch back. Got another skelly. I'm getting pretty tired. I think I probably left the camp a bit prematurely. This is probably perhaps one of my favourite dungeons in all of Skyrim. It's just very unique. You find yourself moving up winding up through the inside, but then every time you get to like this sort of area, you can look down. Okay. What by the gods does this have in store for us? Lovely. This is definitely not what vampires are. Hello. That closes the gate. Okay. All that. Ah. Problem solved.
Now you're
Got the master. I don't like the cold. This is a Volkihar master. Oh boy. I think I walked into a trap. Go away. Let's see if I can poison his magicka regen. Nope, he resisted. Oh boy. He will not kill me. Won't allow him to. Stamina as well. Let's resist his magicka. He was using frost, wasn't he? There we go. There we go. Vampire armor, vampire boots, silver ruby ring, just a genuine steel war axe. Take that, Surf, for the ones you made me use. A pool of blood, and he had 29 20-second seed. Speech increased. We'll read this at a later date. So some part of their scouts knew that I would come this way. That can be problematic. Spelltone bound sword. There's nothing really here. Okay, that's not the way. I think on the way to the Ancestor Glade we'll only yet find more resistance. Yep. I never trust. Not anymore. I'm too tired. Okay. It's only a scourge. Ow. I kind of made Serana's Atronach angry with us. I do feel bad about that slightly. Take those back. Deadly Fear poison. Battle and Element Fury. That's the second word. That helps speed up your attacks so long your weapons aren't enchanted. Shriekwind Overlook. Oh, this is a bit high. Yeah, it feels comfortable here. Why? I meant to come out further to the west. There is another way out of here which can lead toward, you know, more stable ground. I think I've forgotten where it is. I mean, Shriekwind Bastion is not the biggest. Let's see. So, Shriekwind Overlook. Okay, so it might be completely not the way that we're going. I should have seen that. Sometimes there's a secret entrance. How could I have been so blind? That sword was just sitting there. I became so encompassed by the sword itself. There we go.
Who's there?
And what? We have Draugr and werewolves. Why a werewolf? That is the question. Why, I do have a silver weapon. And I'm hungry, that's a problem. Let's shield up. This will hurt. The werewolf pelt tends to go for a lot of money. Okay, it's very much nightfall. We're on the other side of the mountain. And if we can get down to Falkreath and get to Dead Man's Rest, it will be just peachy. But there is a dragon on the wing. But how do we get down is the question. I'd rather not fall. Honestly, man. Where are the stairs? More Draugr. Looks like we're going to have a few of them on our way down. Okay, made it to the other side of Shriekwind. In the end. Now we just need to guide ourselves down to Falkreath easy peasy. We're not going straight to the Ancestor Glade, not in this dark. That could be troublesome. Will be. Oh god. And yet more vampires. They're putting everything in our path now. Okay. Are we quite done? She summoned a... Yeah, there are bandits over there. We need to be careful. We've done enough damage today. We don't need to attract more at this rate. And I can see the undead. Let's go ruin their day. I will use Dawnbreak for this.
Who's there?
There are a lot. I need the mort flesh. That's the only reason why. Putrid. God, that's a new one. Stay away. Let's get closed wounds up. They deal the raw strength of undead. It's quite powerful. Just 2 more? I'll switch back to silver. He deals quite... Yeah, he's holding Orcish or Dwarven. Okay. Get all the mort flesh, I need it. It's a skeever, I don't need that. Serana, stop summoning them. When she summons them, I can't get what I need off them. I think these are the final 2. Okay, Felcreef just down the road. Good. I need a drink after that. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get away from all the craziness as well. Felcreef is just down the road. We're overlooking it, so yeah. God, we're still a ways. It has been a while since we've been to Falkreath, and I might have to do the old trick of leaving Serana and Bran outside. Well, I get a good night's sleep. I know it is as selfish as it sounds. How far around am I going? Not too far. It's simply for convenience, because if I take them in, they'll get stuck by the pathing. Because Falkreath is one of the towns that has been affected by improved cities. And they will get stuck somewhere. And I'll have the Fuss Rodar to get them out. And I'd rather not clip a guard.
You hear that? I swear there's something out there. In the dark.
Oh, there was. I dealt with it, don't worry. Bran, I need you to wait here, buddy. Okay, I can't exactly tell him to do that.
What now?
Just to wait here.
Oh, you're off on your own for a while? Alright.
I don't know why she's sneaking all the time. But some things can't be helped. Bran is going to follow because I can't tell him because he's the most inobedient dog in the world. Things just lying around apparently. The inn is just here, so... Falkreath is... wow. Falkreath is jumpy, is what it is. But really pretty with improved cities, I will give it that. Alright, let's get in the inn.
Come on in. We got warm food, warm drinks, and warm beds. You don't look so good. Are you feeling all right?
Probably not. But I would like a room for the night.
Sure thing. It's yours for a day. I'll show you to your room.
Please, I need to pass out in a bed. That was the worst trip through the mountains I've had in a long, long
Let me
time.
know if there's anything else you need.
I should be good. I may ask for some food in the morning, though. Second Seed, Book 5 of 2920, The Last Year of the First Era, by Kalorvac Townway. 10 Second Seed, 2920, The Imperial City, Cyrodiil. Your Imperial Majesty, said the... I hate some words sometimes. Said the potentate Versadou Shay, opening the door to his chamber with a smile. I have not seen you lately. I thought perhaps you were indisposed with the lovely Regia. She's taking the baths at Mir Korup. The Emperor Riemann III said miserably. Please come in. I've reached a stage where I can only trust 3 people. You, my son, and the prince. And Regia, said the Emperor. Petulantly? Petulantly. Sometimes it's very hard in this text to discern a P from a D. That is my excuse. My entire council is nothing but a pack of spies. What seems to be the matter, Your Imperial Majesty? Asked the potentate Versadou Shay. Can I have to say that every single time? Sympathetically. Drawing closed the thick curtain in his chamber, instantly all sound outside the room was extinguished, echoing footsteps in the marble halls and birds in the springtide gardens. I've discovered that a notorious poisoner, an Orma tribeswoman from Black Marsh called Kathika, was with the army at Caer Suvio. While we were encamped there, my son was poisoned before the battle at Bodrum. I'm sure she would have preferred to kill me, but the opportunity didn't present itself. The Emperor fumed. The Council suggests that we need evidence of her involvement before we prosecute. Of course they would, said the potentate, thoughtfully. Particularly if one or more of them was in the plot. I have thought, Your Imperial Majesty. Yes, said Riemann impatiently. Out with it. Tell the Council you're dropping the matter, and I will send out the guard to track this Kathika down and follow her. We will see who her friends are and perhaps get an idea of the scope of this plot on Your Imperial Majesty's life. Yes, said Riemann, with a satisfied frown. That's a capital plan. We will track this scheme to whomever it leads to. Decidedly, Your Imperial Majesty, smiled the potentate, parting the curtain so the Emperor could leave in the hallway outside was Versaduche's son, Severin Chorak. The boy bowed to the Emperor before entering the potentate's chamber. "Are you in trouble, father?" whispered the Akaviri lad. "I heard the Emperor found out about what's-her-name, the poisoner." "The great art of speechcraft, my boy," said Versaduche to his son, "is to tell them what they want to hear in a way that gets them to do what you want them to do. I need you to get a letter to Kathika and make certain that she understands that if she does not follow the instructions perfectly, she is risking her own life more than ours. 13 Second C 2920 Murkorup Cyrodiil." Rija sank luxuriantly into the burbling hot spring, feeling her skin tingle like it was being rubbed by millions of tiny stones. The rock shelf over her head sheltered her from the misting rain, but let all the sunshine in. Streaming in layers through the branches of the trees, it was an idyllic moment, an idyllic life, and when she was finished, she knew her beauty would be entirely restored. The only thing she needed was a drink of water. The bath itself was wonderfully fragrant. It tasted always of chalk. "Water," she cried to the servants. "Water, please." A gaunt woman with rags tied over her eyes ran to the side and draped a goatskin of water. Rija was about to laugh at the woman's prudery. She herself was not ashamed of her naked body, but then she noticed, through a crease in the rags, that the old woman had no eyes at all. She was like one of those Orma tribesmen Rija had heard about, but never met. Born without eyes, they were masters of their own senses. The Lord of Murkorup hired the very exotic servants, she thought to herself. In a moment, the woman was gone, and forgotten. Rija found it very hard to concentrate on anything but the sun and the water. She opened the cork, but the liquid within had a strange metallic smell to it. Suddenly she was aware she was not alone. "Lady Rija," said the captain to the Imperial Guard. "You are, I see, acquainted with Kathika." "I've heard of her," stammered Rija, before becoming indignant. "What are you doing here? This body is not for your leering eyes." "Never heard of her when we saw her with you not a minute ago," said the captain, picking up the goat skin and smelling it. "Brought you nervous ichor, did she, to poison the Emperor with?" "Captain," said one of the guards, running to him. "Quickly, we cannot find the Argonian. It is as if she disappeared into the woods." "Yes, they're good at that," said the captain. No matter though, we've got her contact at court. That should please Her Imperial Majesty. Seize her." As the guards pulled the writhing naked woman from the pool, she screamed, "I'm innocent. I don't know what this is all about, but I've done nothing. The Emperor will have your heads for this." "Yes, I imagine he will," smiled the captain, "if he trusts you." 21 Second C 2920 Gideon Blackmarsh. I Sow and the Vulture Tavern. The Sow and the Vulture Tavern was sort of out of the way place that Juk favoured. For these sorts of interviews, besides himself and his companion, there were only a couple of old sea dogs in the shadowy room, and they were more unconscious from drink than aware. The grime of the unwashed floor was something you felt rather than saw. Copious dust hung in the air, unmoving in the sparse rays of dying sunlight. "You have experience in heavy combat?" asked Duke. The reward is good for this assignment, but the risks are great as well. Certainly, I have combat experience, replied Miramor. Haughtily. I was at the Battle of Bodrum just 2 months ago. If you do your part, and get the Emperor to ride through Doza Pass, with a minimal escort on the day, and the time we've discussed, I'll do my part. Just be certain that he's not travelling in disguise. I'm not going to slaughter every caravan that passes through in the hopes that it contains Emperor Riemann. Duke smiled, and Miramor looked at himself in the Kothringi's reflective face. He liked the way he looked, the consummate, confident professional. Agreed, said Juk. And then you shall have the rest of your gold. Juk placed a large chest onto the table between them. He stood up. Wait a few moments, leaving, said Juk. I don't want you following me. Your employers wish to maintain their anonymity, if by chance you are caught and tortured. Fine by me, said Miramor, ordering more grog. Juk rode his mount through the cramped labyrinthine streets of Gideon, and both he and his horse were happy to pass through the gates into the country. The main road to Castle Geovis was flooded, as it was every year in springtide, but Juk knew a shorter way through the hills, riding fast under trees, drooping with moss and treacherous slime-coated rocks. He arrived at the castle in 2 hours. He wasted no time in climbing to Tavia's cell at the top of the highest tower. What did you think of him? Asked the Empress. He's a fool, replied Duke, but that's what we want for this short assignment. 30, second seed, 2920, Thurzo Fortress, Cyrodiil. Regis screamed and screamed within her cell. Her only audience was the giant grey stones, crusted with moss but still sturdy. The guards outside were deaf to her, as they were deaf to all prisoners. The Emperor, miles away in the Imperial City, had likewise been deaf to her cries of innocence. She screamed, knowing well that no one would likely hear her ever again. 31, second seed, 2920, Cavus Rem Pass, Cyrodiil. It had been days, weeks, since Turala had seen another human face. Cyrodiil or Dunmer, as she trod. Cyrodiil or Dunmer. As she trod the road, she thought to herself how strange it was that such an uninhabited place as Cyrodiil had become the imperial province, seat of an empire. Even the Bodsmer in Valenwood must have more populated forests than this Heartland would. She thought back, was it a month ago, too, when she crossed the border from Morrowind into Cyrodiil? It had been much colder than but other than that, she had no sense of time. The guards had been brusque, but as she was carrying no weaponry, they elected to let her through. Since then, she had seen a few caravans, even shared a meal with one adventurers camping for the night, but met no one who would give her a ride to town. Turala stripped off her shawl and dragged it behind for a moment. She thought she heard someone behind her and spun around. No one was there, just a bird perched on a branch, making the sound of laughter. She walked on and stopped. Something was happening. The child had been kicking in her belly for some time now, but this was a different kind of spasm. With a groan, she lurched over the side of the path, collapsing into the grass. Her child was coming. She lay on her back and pushed, but she could barely see with her tears of pain and frustration. How had it come to this, giving birth in the wilderness? All by herself, to a child whose father was the Duke of Mournhold. Her scream of rage and agony shook the birds from the trees. The bird that had been laughing earlier flew down to the road. She blinked, and the bird was gone. And in its place, a naked elf man stood. Not as dark as a Dunmer, but not as pale as an Altmer. She knew at once it was an Aelid, a wild elf. Turala screamed, but the man held her down. After a few minutes of struggle, she felt a release, and then fainted away. When she awoke, it was to the sound of a baby crying. The child had been cleaned and was lying by her side. Turala picked up her baby girl, and for the first time that year, felt tears of happiness stream down her face. She whispered to the trees, "Thank you," and began walking with Babe in her arms down to the road to the west. The year is continued in mid-year. Okay. Very interesting. So many people like a wild elf and Aelid at this time.
Yes, Mom.
This is a local favorite and one of the first songs I ever learned.
A lot of people at that point thought Aelids were nothing more than murderers,
Once was a hero named
and they acted as highwaymen in a way. But for this one to come to her in a time of need and to help her give birth, that's very interesting.
You want a drink?
Do I?
Depends. Are you thirsty? Hungry? Both?
Hungry, suppose. Cooked beef, I'll take that for the road. Sid sorts fish does nothing, and I'll take that. Okay.
Alright then.
Nothing left in our path, but the
Oh, you talk and you lie and you drink on me.
Delacourt's actually not a bad singer, I'll give him that. He sounds like very much someone suspicious that I know. Okay. So we're not far from the Moth Priest's Pine Grove, Ancestor Glade. There's very little in our way, and it's pretty much noon. So we'll be there shortly.
Beware, beware, the dragonborn comes.